one game away. Blow up. We're playing for something, man. We're playing for something. Just gotta mean something, you. They gotta mean something. Everything you got. Everything you got. Let's finish this.
Do it, fellas.
Let's go.
Let's do it, fellas.
Finish 2-3. 1, 2, 3. Finish.
You saw yourselves in me. I was you, you were me. We were in this together, right? But then something happened. I won, and you couldn't see yourselves in me anymore because you can't recognize success, because all you know is failure.
Jeez.
Welcome to Wrestling with Saint. We got a lot to talk about. The week in wrestling, we gonna be covering Raw and SmackDown. SmackDown just went off the air. We'll cover both shows from this week. At some point in time, when I get very efficient again at this uploading and managing my personal life, I do plan on covering NXT, because I watch NXT. I just don't cover it. I never talk. Well, I talk about it here and there, but I don't talk about it as much as I talk about the two main shows. I do not watch Evolve. I'm not going to lie to you. If you are a WWE fan that watches Evolve, you really consume all this wrestling content, because I do not watch Evolve. I did have on my 2K wrestling game a long time ago, when somebody uploaded community creations, when I created all my, because when I had my universe mode, it was like 3 main shows. It was a Saturday night show where all the superstars came together to compete. It was 2 main events. It was 4 shows, because the 2 shows got the end of the it was 2 pay-per-views, one for 2 shows, because you couldn't put all 4 shows on one pay-per-view back in the day. I don't know if you can do it now, because I haven't played a WWE game in like 4 years possibly since I played one. But it would be a great addition if you could put 4 different at least 3 shows. At least be able to have the ability to put 3 shows. I really think 4 should be like a thing. Like, I know that they don't do 4 shows in real life now, but they did back in the day. Like, well, I don't know if it was 4, but back in the day, I remember they had ECW, they had Raw, SmackDown. I'm trying to think, did they have anything else? I don't believe they had anything else. I'm not going to overthink this thing, but anyways, I hope you had a dope day, dope afternoon, dope night, whichever point in time you listen to this. I appreciate you for checking this out. I truly do. Now, I'm going to start off talking about SmackDown, and I'll get into Raw, because last week I think I done 2 SmackDown reviews, and I have not done a Raw review, I don't think. Maybe I have, and I'm just forgetting. But I didn't pay too much attention to Raw, as far as like, I didn't do a show for Raw. I did a show for SmackDown before I came to the conclusion that I'll just do both shows. I mean, yeah, SmackDown and Raw on one show. But I didn't take notes in a way of, halfway through SmackDown, I was like, yo, you know what? I should talk about both shows. I shouldn't just do one show for, So I didn't actually take notes, the type of notes that would lead you to believe, oh, he's trying to cover both shows at the same time. My notes look more like a dude who was trying to cover Raw and then do a show covering SmackDown. Actually, my SmackDown notes look incomplete. SmackDown notes look like notes that might be, if you look at my Raw notes, you'll be like, okay, he gonna cover a Raw show. He gonna probably spend an hour on that. And then if you look at my SmackDown notes, it looked like, okay, he just wrote the name of the matches. Okay, so I can see the vision starting to come into fruition, or maybe you don't see it. Maybe you just see a mentally unwell individual, and you might look at the notes and say to yourself, what am I looking at? Who knows? Either way, Friday night SmackDown out. First off, I do want to say the women's division is unreal. WWE has by far the best women's division in any wrestling company. And it's not even remotely close. Like, I just want to name all of the women that WWE have right now on the roster that is either competing or in stories and on TV and segments every week. Okay? Charlotte Flair, Becky Lynch, Alexa Bliss, Tiffany Stratton, Nia Jax. I'm imagining Bayley will be back on programming eventually to start feuding with Becky. I lost track of thought for a second right there. What's my girl? Io Sky, Rhea Ripley. I understand that Liv just went off to do a movie, but she will be back. Liv Morgan. And then you look at like the rooks like Lash Legend, and you look at Roxanne Perez, Julia. Like you look at all of this young talent mixed with this Bianca Belair mixed. She was hurt. That's the only reason I didn't say her name. But you look at all of this. This is insane levels of talent in the women's division. This is why I kind of get depressed about Sasha. Because I firmly believe that Sasha should be in the WWE competing in that division. I do not believe Sasha is at the point in her career. And clearly, if you look at what she's done in the indies and on the AEW and whatnot, she's not at the point in her career where she should be putting people over. I don't believe Charlotte, Becky, Bayley, or Sasha should be just losing matches just to give everybody else their matches. I don't agree with that. I think they are still very much unbelievable at what they do, and they still can carry stories, and they they are still huge parts of any feud that you put them in, which is why it disappoints me that Sasha is. I'm not trying to talk down on the talent in AEW or any other company Sasha has been to outside of WWE. But right now, it is so evident that the level of talent in the WWE women's division is so far and away better than any other company. I just wish Sasha was in the mix. That's it. That's all I wanted to say. Now, getting to what I wanted to start, I'm going to get into the flow of SmackDown in a second, but I do want to start off talking about the best thing that I saw on SmackDown this week, and that's usually how I'm going to start these shows from here on out. I'm going to talk about the best thing that I saw. I'm not going to just go, boom, this happened first and this happened and that happened. No. I don't like that. I'm going to hit what my favorite thing throughout the show was, or my favorite thing that I saw in the show. Sometimes my favorite thing might not be a match. So that's why at times it'll be multiple favorite things, but I'll tell you, if I think of it, this was my favorite match that happened in the, now tonight, this was just my favorite thing, period. So it's not going to be like, this was my favorite match, this was my favorite promo, this was my favorite segment, this was my favorite little quick little cut that we saw. Like, that's not going to happen. Well, not for SmackDown, because my favorite thing that I saw on SmackDown was Nia Jax taking on Tiffany Stratton. Ladies, take a bow. Oh my God. This is Tiffany's best match since she done been on the main roster, and we do a lot of praising of Tiffany. The national media does a lot of praising of Tiffany Stratton, rightfully so. I'm going to do some praising of Tiffany Stratton, but I want to first kick off by talking about Nia fucking Jax. Nia Jax is unbelievable. I done said it multiple times that she does not get nearly the credit that she deserves. I don't understand why fanboys who think she ugly, or I don't like her weight, or you like some other girl, you think some other girl looks good and you infatuated with her, so you'll talk down on Nia when Nia beats her. Nia is unbelievable. I still believe that Ronda Rousey's best match in the WWE was against Nia Jax. Nia Jax gave her best match. Nia Jax I don't think people realize this. When you have to have a big match, think about the match Nia just had against Lyra, a couple months ago. When you have to have a big match, since Nia done been back, man, more times than not, she delivers. I think she was delivering before she had left, before she had got let go by the company, and when she came back. Nia just puts on great big time match. When you put Nia in the spotlight and you say, give us a great match, Nia understands her role. Not only does she understand her role, she understands. See, this is why I get annoyed with Damian Priest. This is exactly why I hate watching Damian Priest wrestle. And that's no disrespect to Damian Priest. That man work his ass off. I would never disrespect these dudes and these women because I understand. I don't think, well, no, I'm not going to say that about myself. If I wanted to, I feel like I could dedicate to it and do it. But at this very current moment, I could never do what these men and women do. I would never downplay what they do. I'm just speaking from a fan perspective at this point in time. And I just get annoyed. I don't hate Damian Priest, the character, or nothing like that. I just specifically, I get annoyed with his in-ring moveset. Because he don't have really any moves that are like big man impact type moves where you feel it. Like when Charlotte Flair delivered that big boot, you feel it. That is a tall woman who is that's a long, lengthy woman who is delivering a massive big boot. You feel it. When Nia Jax is delivering these big time impactful moves, and before the fans started crying about her finisher, you can feel it. Like, I just feel as though Drew McIntyre, Sheamus, like, I don't like that Damian Priest's entire moveset feels like the moveset of a dude who is like 5 inches shorter than him. I just don't like it. And I'm not saying that Damian Priest should only have big man moves. Damian Priest don't have any except for his finisher, South of Heaven. I guess that's a big man move. It just don't. He still put his little twang on it. I ain't hating on Damian Priest. I swear to you, I'm not. Or maybe I am. I don't know. Anyways, Nia Jax is unbelievable. The matches that she has put on, when they have asked her to put on a big match in a big moment, she just gave Tiffany's best match on the main roster. And I done seen Tiffany have some great matches on NXT takeovers and NXT in general. This was an unbelievable match. For one, Nia is the first person to ever jump out to kick out of Tiffany's perfect moonsault. But then Nia delivered one of her best. Nia gonna end up having a compilation of her finisher. I can't remember what her finisher is called at the moment. I don't know how I keep forgetting what her finisher is called. I don't think I ever have known what Nia's finisher was called. Because nobody ever talk about the name. We just go crazy about the clips. She had a clip tonight. Boy, her finisher on Tiffany. Now, I'm not going to lie. If a rocket was strapped to Nia right now, nobody's kicking out of that. I'm not even going to lie to you. They really protected Nia, which is something that they used to not do. Tiff didn't even jump out of that. She had to grab the rope, which made it even better because it still protected Nia's finisher, especially that finisher. It's not just about protecting the finisher. When you hit a finisher like that, nobody in their right mind thinks Tiffany is going to kick out at 3. But Tiffany grabbing the rope because it's conveniently right there, that's a completely different story. Shout out Kevin Owens. I loved it. I thought it was brilliant. Tiffany is starting to understand. Well, she's starting to play the babyface character a lot better. I like her looking to the crowd and interacting with the crowd and crowd doing the Tiffy time. Like, Tiffany is becoming a great babyface. Well, I don't want to say great yet. I don't want to rush the process. But Tiffany is becoming a better babyface. One thing that I noticed after this match, though, or one of the things that I thought about throughout the match and definitely thought about after the match, was even more so now, I done lost something and I found it. Even more so now, though, I don't understand why it was Charlotte taking on Tiffany at Mania. I strongly feel as though, unless Nia was hurt, it should have been Nia taking on Tiffany at WrestleMania. That was a WrestleMania match. They just put on a WrestleMania match. Shout out to whoever booked them to put on that main event. Because when they said that that was the main event, I never questioned that that was going to be a banger. From the moment they said it was the main event, I said to myself, that's going to be the best match of the night. I was in anticipation, on the edge of my seat, waiting for this match. Because I knew it was going to be a banger. I knew it was going to be a banger. Tiffany and Nia worked together for far too long to not go out there and put a banger on. Ladies, take a fucking bow. What a match. What a match. I'm not gonna lie. I thought it was over when Tiffany hit that perfect moonsault. And then when Nia hit that shit, I was, oh, it's over. And then Tiff hit that. Now, I'm glad. I actually respect and I liked. Because some people might say, well, you know, Naomi and Jade coming out kind of threw off the match. Not to me. Because it kept the importance of Naomi and Jade. They might not have a match tonight, but you still saw them tonight. And you saw them twice. Because you saw Naomi behind Nia in a segment tonight. And you saw Jade talking to Tiffany tonight backstage. So you saw Naomi and Jade twice from their backstage presence. And when they came out and Naomi got ran off by Jade. I thought it was perfect. I thought it was perfect. I know some... Well, no. I know I've said that I don't like this shooting the young people over the legends just to say we beat Becky or we beat Charlotte. I don't like that, and I'm never going to like that. I love this. See, this is why I said if Tiffany's greatest story is Tiffany beating a Nia Jax, then her going to another great feud, then she going to another great feud. And then when she get to the top against a Bianca, against a Charlotte, against a Becky, do you know how big it would hit for her to have first lost that match and then build herself back up? People keep saying, well, we done seen this before. Yeah, and we love it every time because it's the hero's journey. Tiffany just, we skip past all of that. And I understand people say, well, she had the money in the bank. Yeah, this is why I hate it when baby faces get money in the bank. Because, well, she wasn't even a baby face when she got the money in the bank. And I still firmly believe you could have kept her as a heel and Nia as a heel and just put them on different shows. I don't think either had to be a baby face. But you worked yourself into a situation where because Nia Tiffany was not the main event at Mania or wasn't a match at Mania, you forced Tiffany to go babyface because now Charlotte coming back and you're not making Charlotte a babyface. I hate it when they do that shit. So, you know, it played out how it played out. But my goodness, this match tonight, it just had everything. Nia's leg drop. Like, Nia has a beautiful moveset. A beautiful moveset. Tiffany, I love the work bouncing off of her and Nia's chemistry in the ring. The hip toss against the apron. Tiffany avoiding it a second time and then pushing Nia against the apron multiple times. I'm not even mad when they do stuff on the table and the announcer table doesn't break. I think it hurt worse when the announcer table don't break. Because you have to feel all of that impact. You don't get to the impact isn't spread it out because of everything collapsing. Even though some people say, well, if collapse, you go down further and it can hurt even worse. But nonetheless, I think the pain is still there. The message is still received very clearly and understandably for me. So I loved every minute of this match. It's not a single moment. Shout out to Tiffany. Because if you're Tiffany and you know how great you are, you don't want the lasting memory of your match with Charlotte. Because I've actually gone back and watched that a couple times now. Tiffany did not look like Tiffany in that match halfway through. Because she looked fatigued. She looked tired. Maybe she was fighting an illness. Maybe she was in pain from the tooth. I don't know. But I've seen Tiffany look better throughout even a longer match than that. But I keep reminding myself, that is Charlotte Flair. Charlotte Flair is not just the GOAT because, oh, nepotism. No. Charlotte Flair is one of the greatest. To me, it's a lot of women that came along that's great. Charlotte was the first woman that I said, oh, she the greatest in the ring that I've ever seen. What she is doing, the way she, and I still don't think women who feel like they can wrestle better than Charlotte, it's a lot of things that you don't do better than Charlotte. And not to mention the way that Charlotte can dance in that ring. Lord hammer. And I ain't just talking about solo dancing. I'm talking about leading a dance with somebody who is nowhere near the level of competitor in the ring that Charlotte is. It was a beautiful match tonight. So Tiffany not having that match be her next title. She had a great match against Jade too. But this match, now I would like to see Tiff get in some more offense a little bit. It did feel at times like tonight and last week that it got a little too good guy-y, where the good guy take a little too much of an ass whooping throughout the match. And the other person, even though Jade technically is a good guy also. However, this match was perfect. This is a 5 out of 5 type of match for me. Oh, Saint, you glazing. Hope so. This was a unbelievable match. Nia, take a bow. Tiff, take a bow. What time is it? It's Tiffy time, bitches. That was an unbelievable match. That was the match of the week for me. And Raw had a good match to end the show too, I believe. Hold on, let me checks notes. It was a good main event on Raw, but it wasn't better than this main event. The Roxanne and Julia taking on Rhea and Roxanne. Taking on Rhea and Io wasn't better than this match to me. This match was unbelievable. This barn burner is what I think they call it. Either way, that was the best thing I saw this week in wrestling, in WWE. Nia Tiffany Stratton ended the week with a banger. A banger. Yada 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 me. Let's talk about it. Tonight on Smackdown, Jacob Fatu, one of the biggest things that happened, one of the big storylines going on Smackdown right now, aside from the storylines we just talked about. Jacob Fatu, the USA Championship. The USA Championship. The USA Champion. He, LA Knight, Solo. I loved how Smackdown kicked off, actually, because I was thinking to myself as I was seeing them walk to the ring, and I thought this to myself earlier this week. At some point in time, Solo gonna want him to say, "I love you, Solo." Like, at some point in time, is he gonna want to hear that again? Especially after, and I'll be damned. That's exactly what he came out there to talk about. Say the thing, Jacob. What's the thing you say? The way you used to say it, say it the way you say it. Jacob gave him a half-hearted, "I love you, Solo." I ain't like that. I ain't like that at all, Solo. I ain't gonna lie to you. I wasn't feeling it. Yada, 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 me. Wasn't feeling it. "I love you, Solo." Nah. He didn't have no passion in it, Solo. He didn't have no heart in it, Solo. He wasn't really... And I ain't feel like he loved you in that moment, Solo. I felt like he was lying. I'm going to just keep it a buck. I'm being with you. I'm going to keep it a buck. I think he was lying. As the kids say, I figure he was capping. That's just me. Now, kids don't actually say, "I figure he was capping." They don't have a way of words like that. They just say something like, "Oh, he capping." Me, however, I'm a more sophisticated individual. Some people might not even know I'm getting into wrestling personas when I start talking about wrestling. So some niggas out there might think, "Oh, that nigga really called us stupid." Possibly. Maybe. I don't know. Anyways, Big JC Mateo. He was a story of the night. The guy can go. As I'm watching him take on LA Knight, because things broke down in a way. Before Solo, when everything was happening, LA Knight came out. And then, Solo had a match earlier tonight. A qualifier for the Money in the Bank contest. And he beat he beat Jimmy, Big Jim. And he beat, who was the other guy in this match? Ray Phoenix. He beat both of them with distractions from Big JC Mateo and Jacob Fatu, the USA champion. And Solo eventually hit both of them with Samoan spikes, and he earned his spot into the men's Money in the Bank contest. Now, you could tell there's splintering, cracks, if you will, in the foundation of the bloodline, because the foundation can never be solid when the man who created is still breathing. One's in there for my tribal chief, bro. Acknowledge him. Moment of acknowledgement over. Listen, clearly, Jacob, I actually very much enjoyed that not only did LA Knight is still in this feud and they still keeping him in this feud, because LA Knight is working his ass off in this feud. I absolutely think LA Knight has been perfect in this feud. He done been so perfect in this feud at times I wish he'd win some of the matches, because I'm like, Jesus, this man is doing it. Like, I mean, his in the ring, knowing what he gonna do, how he's supposed to do it, being able to still bounce back when somebody else botch a move, or when he botch a move, or when. Now, I don't really like calling it botches because everybody messes up. It's wrestling. This shit's live. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I don't care how many times you rehearse this and practice it. They are professionals because they do it and make it look so easy, but nobody's perfect. We continuously say that, but then you got these videos of botch mania. Anyways, we're storming off into rambling category. Into rambling sessions. Listen, I like what I saw from Big JC Mateo. That's going to be a very interesting match in the future between him and him and Jacob Fatu. I know I talked about how they fought each other in the indies multiple times. Boy, I can tell already. I was looking at them too. I was looking right through Solo. I apologize, Solo. But I was looking right through you, brother. Big Jacob Mateo and Jacob Fatu. That's the match. Not only is that the match, I would put LA Knight in that match also. I'm not gonna lie to you. LA Knight in no way, in my opinion, has done anything that would make me believe he should not still be a part of this feud. I'm gonna be honest with you. He haven't got beaten clean, which is the biggest reason he should still be a part of this feud. But he also is a great part of the feud. And he could play a huge part in the bloodline showing cracks and eventually get his title back. Like, I think LA Knight should be in this feud all the way through. As a matter of fact, I think the feud gonna get to a point where Fatu don't even need the championship no more, because they're gonna cost him. They are going to cost him that title. I just hope that it's against. Well, you know what? The only way it would be better costing him against LA Knight is if you cost him against Solo. If Solo was to compete against Jacob Fatu for that title, and they call Solo. Mateo cost Fatu. Or if Fatu was fighting Mateo, and Solo cost Fatu. I guess that would be better to some people, because it definitely will progress this story. But I think if you keep LA Knight in this, the better option is actually to have LA Knight be the one that wins the championship off of a distraction by them costing by Solo and Big JC Mateo costing Jacob Fatu. And I won't feel any way about LA Knight winning it that way, specifically because he been losing dirty all the way through. I don't think my man done took a clean L in this feud at all. Which, now that I think about it, is crazy, because the way they building Jacob Fatu, you would think that he would be getting clean wins over a lot of niggas. But he did just recently turn, basically, he ain't even fully turned babyface. Well, no, he is fully babyface. Well, no, he's not, because he still does dastardly things. But the crowd thinks he's a babyface, and the WWE is definitely moving him into a babyface role, which I don't have a problem with. I think Jacob Fatu Look at how he looked when he got there and look at how he look now. That's a nigga who working his ass off. I remember when he first got there, he was all gas, no brakes because it was in spurts. But when they started putting him in matches and them longer matches, it wasn't really all gas, all no brakes. It was getting a little sloppy at the end. Now, dude's a killer. I'm very intrigued to see where this story, well, I'm pretty sure I know where this story goes. But those matches in the future, them things gonna hit like crack in whatever era it was the strongest. Or selling for the boat. Well, dog, you can't say that now, cause Lord. Anyways, another match that happened on Smackdown tonight. I was actually gonna talk about something else, but I want to talk about this match first. Another qualifier match for the women's Money in the Bank. Mishin taking on, it was a triple threat. Mishin, Chelsea Gray, Alexa Bliss, who clearly had the crowd on her side. But this was a great match also. Now, you know what? It wasn't a great match, but it was a good match. This match was very intriguing because there was a lot of spots in this match that looked kind of sloppy, kind of bad, kind of rehearsed. But I'm not mad at that. That happens sometimes. For the most part, it was a great match. Alexa Bliss got the win. Alexa Bliss is in Money in the Bank. Shout out Alexa Bliss. That was the right decision. Now, later on in the show, Alexa Bliss caught up with Charlotte Flair. And I love the heel moment that Charlotte had. Now, I'm very intrigued. Is Alexa going to turn heel with Charlotte? So basically, Charlotte was like, I don't even know what you're talking about, bro. Me and you wasn't even cool. We wasn't even partners like that back when me and you was running SmackDown and Raw. We wasn't cool. We wasn't partners. I had Brooke, or what was her name? I think it was Brooke. But I might be wrong. It might have been something else. I feel bad that I don't remember her name. But nonetheless, Charlotte basically was like, we not partners. We never been that. So why do you want to fuck with me? And Alexa Bliss told her, listen. Listen, Queen. Now, that's not what Alexa Bliss. But as you can see, I tried to move on without saying that part. But I couldn't. Because much like I have to acknowledge my tribal chief Roman Reigns, I must put a title where a title belongs. If I have to call a doctor, doctor. If I have to call a judge, honorable, then I'm going to call the queen, queen. You understand what I'm saying? Anyways, and Alexa Bliss responded, listen, basically when I was a young buck, nobody really helped me along, but you did. And I'll never forget that. I'll never forget that, GOAT. Once again, Alexa Bliss did not say GOAT. There go Saint. Just glazing. Nonetheless, Charlotte and Alexa's conversation was interrupted by Nick Aldis. And who the fuck came out his office? Not gonna lie to you. I have forgotten who. No, Julia came out of his office. I apologize, Julia. Yes, because Charlotte and Charlotte and Alexa were so rudely interrupted by Nick Aldis announcing that Julia is now on the SmackDown roster. Nick, my guy. What the fuck does that have to do with what Charlotte and Alexa were talking about? Rude. Nonetheless, before Charlotte entered Nick Aldis's office to talk about her Money in the Bank opportunity, you know what will be hilarious? Now, it's not going to happen because they already announced she got a match next week for a qualifying match. It would have been hilarious if they just put her in a match. That shit would have been hilarious. But before she went into the office, she looked at Alexa Bliss and said, the only way you could help me is by staying out of my way. I don't need you, young goat. There I go, glazing again. Some people might call it lying. I'm going to stick with glazing. Charlotte did not say that. Alexa to me is a young goat, though. So I have to call her not even young goat, future goat. One of the goats. Had an unbelievable run. I hate it for you if you didn't see Alexa in her prime, but the beauty in wrestling is you can always have another prime. And Alexa Bliss, it just feels like, I'm going to be honest with you. Watching, well, let me finish the conversation. Charlotte said, I don't need you. She walked into the office and Alexa said, you keep thinking that you don't need me. 'Cause you do, bitch. Again, now I've gone too far. Because Alexa didn't say that. Alexa did not say that. Okay? Alexa didn't say that. Alexa simply said, you keep thinking that you don't need me, but you do need me. Basically. Now, I am very intrigued. I can't imagine that Charlotte is going to turn to a babyface, so I'm imagining that Alexa is going to eventually become a heel. I want Charlotte to need Alexa because I need Alexa and Charlotte to be a top tier duo, tag team, whatever you call it. I need them running wild on the roster, because when Alexa and Charlotte are top tier and they proms doing top tier shit, that just make everybody else better. We're going to get to Becky Lynch in a couple. Trust me, we are going to get to Becky Lynch in a couple. Because I actually need to rephrase something, but I'm not going to rephrase it yet. I've purposely not rephrased it. But we'll get to it. I love what I'm seeing from Alexa Bliss and Charlotte, and I haven't even seen much of anything yet, but I love it already. Axiom won against DIY tonight. I like Axiom. Axiom, this was probably their sloppiest match since being on the main roster. They have a match next week against the champs for the titles. The most hilarious shit is when they keep showing that clip of Axiom getting jumped last week. And this nigga Ciampa saying, you didn't win. You took advantage of two guys who just competed in TLC. You're cowards. Once again, disclaimer. Saint could be lying about some of the things. I might add a little bit of extra oomph on the end of things. I'll let you decide. That seems fair. Nonetheless, I want to get to, well, you know what? Let me make sure I touch on everything that happened on Smackdown. Drew McIntyre and Damian Priest have a match set up for Saturday night's main event. That happens in a week and a half, I believe. Or not this Saturday, but next Saturday. You have, what else did I see? Oh, you had the R-Truth interview setting up his match with John Cena. That's dope. Shout out to John Cena. That's real cool. You also had the Andrade, not Andrade. Well, you did have an Andrade. That shit was actually kind of funny when they was like, me no speak no English, when they basically was talking to Solo and them. But what's my man's name? As Santos. You had the Santos segment backstage. So that's setting something up with that crew next week. But I want to get into Raw now. You see, I said my favorite thing that I saw this week. I lied. That was my favorite match that I saw this week. You get to you kind of get that Saint doing a lot of white lies tonight. You see, I told you that we wouldn't have that tonight. It would just be my favorite thing I saw this week. I lied. That was my favorite match I saw this week. My favorite thing I saw this week was Becky motherfucking Lynch. My God. Oh my God. Some people, if you're not of African American descent, you might not understand when I say, oh my God. You might not know that that's actually a reference to when this black queen was sitting on a podcast. I don't know what podcast it was. And her wig fell off. And she looked at the dude and said, oh my God. Oh my God. That shit was hilarious. Still is. I laugh every time I see the clip. Anyways, Becky motherfucking Lynch. Oh my God. That promo. You see, I liked Charlotte's promo that she cut 2 Fridays ago, because for what her character is about to become, the annoyed goat, she feels unappreciated. She don't feel like motherfuckers have given her respect. Her promo fit for what her character is currently doing. Becky Lynch's character is not somebody who feels underappreciated. Oh, they don't give me. I mean, obviously every heel could say that, but that's not the basis of her problems. The basis of her problems is the girls in the back thought it was all sugar and sweets while I was gone. The girls in the back talk crazy about me. Oh, she's selfish. She this. She bury people. The fans. You motherfuckers. Now, one of the things I love about this Becky promo so much is because I said everything that Becky said. I'm going to get to Rhea too, because Rhea had my favorite tweet of the week. Or a favorite tweet that I recently saw, because I don't remember if it was last week that she tweeted this, but when she tweeted about how they do the women's division, oh my God. Rhea. My mean, they not ready to hear that. They was not ready to hear you say that. On esa arena. I gotta learn that song. You know the crazy part of me liking that song? I don't understand what the fuck he's saying. Once I learn the lyrics, then I'll learn the song. Or once I learn, I don't know what I'm saying. Anyway, either way, getting back to wrestling. What I love about Becky Lynch's promos, what I've said all the time, it's this problem with fans where they cheer when you are a loser in their eyes. When you never win matches against the top people, they always say, oh, they burying her. Oh, they burying him. Oh, he not getting treated fairly. Oh, he should go to a different company. Oh, he should quit when his contract up. Oh, this wrestler not better than him. He should be winning these matches. Yada, yada, yada. When that's happening, fans love you. You're the lovable loser. They see themselves in you. Like Becky said, they feel like losers. And I've been saying this since the dawn of me recording wrestling shows. I've always said that. Fans see themselves in the losers, the ones who don't win. It's not even that they don't win as much. It's that at that point in their career, they're not a top person. Or maybe they are, but they just don't win like the other top. Because their role right now is not to be the one winning. It's to be the one having the great matches, putting other people over. But nonetheless, when they're losing, you see yourselves in them. But as soon as Becky became the man and she started beating people. Now, I think it was 2 things that people had a problem with Becky. For one, she was no longer a lovable loser. She was winning. And much like Becky said, you couldn't see yourselves in her anymore because you can't recognize success. Becky. Big Tom Bex has left the building. Her has entered. Oh my God. Becky is absolutely correct. You can no longer see yourselves in it because you cannot recognize success. She's become too successful for you. That's why you hate Charlotte. She wins too much. Before too long, you'll hate Tiffany because she wins too much. And then you have your hate for the ones that you just hate for weird reasons. Oh, I just don't like this person for whatever reason. Creating these ridiculous reasons as to why you should hate people. Becky pointed it out to all the gals in the back who thought it was sweet while I was gone. You're really about to know what it feels like to be held down by the man. Becky fucking Lynch, man. Oh my God. The best thing in wrestling this week in WWE was stuff by the women. This is why I get so passionate about women's wrestling, because this shit is unbelievable. See, I done dealt with a lot of women in my life, so I know how women talk, bro. They say things that are just so heartless when they want to talk shit. When a woman wants you to feel bad about yourself, especially a woman that ain't got too many physical flaws, Lord have mercy. And don't let her be physically attractive and smart with a smart ass mouth. Because Lord, the shit that she will say, even if she being funny, she'll say some shit that's like, why did she say that to me? So when I hear these promos from these women, it makes sense that they got that magic in the tongue that they could. Now all of them can't do what the man. Apologies, that's no longer the man. She done evolved past that. She done evolved past big time Bex. This is her. And she said, you can strap a gold shovel to my motherfucking back. Cause I'm back, bitches. Again, Becky may not have said that. Once again, it's up for your interpretation. Anyways, Becky absolutely. This is what I'm saying. To me, what a week. An unbelievable match in Nia and Tiffany, where all the chemistry, all the storytelling, everything, just an unbelievable match. It was so good where you say, man, I don't know if Nia should have lost that match, how great it was. That's exactly the type of match a champion is supposed to have. A match where you say, damn, they was both so good. I don't know if I would have been mad if Nia had won that match. Or maybe Nia should have won that match. That was masterful. And then you have this promo by Becky that stood light years above every promo that was said this week. It was not a single promo uttered this week that was anywhere near what Becky delivered on Monday Night Raw. Oh my God. Becky, take a bow. This is why I get annoyed when people talk down on the Becky Lynches or the Charlotte Flairs or the Biancas, because only those type can give you this, because they are great. Regardless of what you may say about them, the resume speaks for itself. And you can say, oh, they was just handed things. But when you go watch those matches, when you go watch the work that they put in. See, I'm not the biggest fan of the behind the scenes things that the WWE drop. But I love the behind the scenes of showing them grinding every single chance. Because I'm not one of the people that say, oh, you need to be in the gym every time I see you. But I just love it because it's always a reminder. Nobody could understand. Every time I see a clip of them in the gym or something, I think to myself, this ain't even a fraction. They probably done been here 2-3 times a day for the 5th time this week and got to have a match this week. Or got to go out there and do something this week. And got to travel from city to city this week. To be able to do all of that. Gather your thoughts. Go out there to that ring. Just you and thousands of individuals in the arena. Millions of people watching at home. And millions watching back at the crib. Becky, you are unbelievable. I am so happy that I got to watch. I'm so happy that I gave wrestling a chance again, because in 2012, I had quit on wrestling. Actually, it was 12, 11, 10. In 2010, I quit. In 2010, I stopped watching wrestling. And I didn't start watching again because in 2010, I stopped because I think that was the back end of John Cena. It was just, I was annoyed with John Cena's run. I'm not going to lie. I was completely worn out with the John Cena, Super Cena. I came back and I was watching for a while. Then John Cena had beat Brock Lesnar in his return. And I said, you know what? There go another break because shit ain't changed. And I'm the type of person who, once I got away, you know, really what happened was I just got older. And it got easier to not watch wrestling because I was older. I was doing a whole bunch of, not older as in like an old dude, but I was like 21 now. So I can drink, I can smoke. I didn't smoke cigarettes or nothing like that, but I can go out with friends. I got a car. I'm in college. Like, the world is an oyster to me. I truly enjoyed my 20s and my young, and I enjoyed 15, 16, 17, well, yeah, I enjoyed 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 22. Yeah, I'm not, this is why I get annoyed when I see how dudes talk on the internet, because I'm like, as a dude who done enjoy life and women, I know what it sound like when a dude don't intertangle with women. I know what that sound. I'm not talking about a gay man. No. I know what a pussy deprived individual sounds like. And the internet is full of them. One of the most embarrassing things that I hate that I see on Twitter is when these idiots get on there and be like, I don't know how to talk to women, and they give us this dumbass story about the stupid shit they said to a woman, and other goofy dudes just like them like up the tweet because they are spitting images of each other. Basement dwelling ass niggas who really should be paying attention in school, but these moronic ass niggas don't pay attention in school. That's why they don't know the difference between there, and there. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. I had a nigga one time, I'll never forget this. We was on Twitter, and he this is back when it was just Twitter. This was way before it was X. But I'll never forget this because this is one of the things that made me realize, for one, these are like high school, middle schoolers on Twitter talking crazy like this. And two, these niggas are dead ass. I was about to shoot that word out real quick, Chris Broussard. These dudes are really stupid. Really fucking stupid. Because one time I was on Twitter and I had tweeted something. But obviously it's Twitter. You can't post but so much. And this was before they started letting you tweet way more in your tweets. And I tweeted something. And this dude didn't like it. So he was like, well, how about using a comma? And I usually don't respond to ignorant comments because I don't like entertaining people. Growing up, I like fighting niggas. I'm not finna argue with you on the internet. So I just have never been the argue on the internet type of nigga in a long time. Now you can't get me out of my body. But you really gotta say something that intrigues me. Because it's very hard to make. Now sometimes I respond to people just because I don't like ignorant people. So I might just respond. But it's not like to really get me angry. You really gotta say something crazy. You really, like, talking about my mama it's not gonna make me happy, but it's not gonna get me out of body. I'm talking about as far as like interacting with people on the internet. You really gotta say something to make me go crazy on the internet and have people who don't know me see me in this light. And it's not that I care about what people think, but to say you want to go around having everybody in the world or everybody that interacts with you believing that you some wild dude that can flip off the hook at any point in time is a strange infatuation to want to have. I'm not going to lie to you. But I remember this motherfucker tweeting me and saying you could use a comma or something. But he was really annoyed because he was a fan of what I was tweeting against. And somebody else had tweeted him and was like, bruh, this is Twitter. I can't believe that you just said that. But he tweeted that dude and tried to correct him grammarly. And that's when I tweeted back at him and I said, bro, I'm not going to have a nigga on the internet trying to question my intelligence. I was like, my nigga, I know for certain after reading a couple of your tweets, you are not smarter than me, my nigga. Book-wise, street-wise, no level of smart are you smarter than me. And so I said a sentence where I used all three of the theirs. This idiot tried to correct me and got every fucking there wrong. You couldn't believe it. You couldn't believe it. There, going to there, home, over there. Man, you would have thought I was speaking Chinese. And that nigga tried to tell me that I used the wrong there all 3 times. And I'll never forget him trying to flip the English language when everybody was trying to point out to him, like, nah, you are fucking stupid. And him saying, I'll never forget this, because this done happened actually like 2 or 3 times in my lifetime where somebody got something so wrong as far as like a grammar or math type thing where they was trying to call somebody else. And then they try to say something like, well, back in the day it was this and this is not really what we use metric wise. And I'm like, what? Nigga, I ain't trying to hear none of that. Go back to English class, stupid nigga. Apologies. I don't even know what made me go there. It doesn't matter. Becky Lynch was the best thing that I saw this week in the WWE. The best match I saw this week in the WWE was Nia Tiffany Stratton for the WWE Women's Championship. What a fucking match. My favorite tweet this week, which I wish I could have remembered this tweet off the top of my head or wrote it down, but I actually did not think about this until I got on the show tonight. Well, before I got on the show. And that was because I saw this tweet in passing at first. I didn't actually get to sit down and read the full tweet. So I actually don't even want to talk about the tweet until I actually go back and read the whole tweet again, even though I'm pretty sure I remember exactly what it said. I got to make sure it was a real tweet from Rhea Ripley and whatnot first. And then on the next episode, I'll address that tweet because I absolutely loved, if that was really the tweet that I'm thinking of, when Rhea talked about how it's the fans and whatnot who do more harm to women's wrestling. Oh, she not pretty enough. Oh, she ain't, her body is this. Oh, she sound like absolute tea. I've been saying this for the longest. One of the most annoying fucking things for somebody like me who loves women's wrestling, not because of how these women look. I can admire how these women look, and that can still also not be the biggest reason that I love women's wrestling, because asses is jiggling and hoping that a titty pop out. Like, I just think it's very weird to root for somebody because, oh, she look good, so I'm going to root for her the most. I'm going to find these weird ways to stand for her because I think she look good and I'm infatuated with her because I'm at this weird ass age where some reason that's something that people do nowadays. That is insulting to a nigga like me who absolutely adore what these women do in that ring, the storytelling, and they can tell. That's why I always say women's wrestling, bro. What Charlotte, Becky, Sasha, and Bayley have done for this industry is bar none. It's immeasurable. You can't quantify it with a number, with a simple phrase. Because what we are seeing right now wouldn't be possible if those 4 horsewomen didn't take the fucking torch and go nuts. I also would like to say, before they retire and before I'm dead in my grave, and hopefully that's a long time from now, I would love to see a 4 horsemen stable. 4 horsewomen stable, but as heels. Because I don't think you could ever put 4 of those women together and have them not be heels when you see how great. To be honest with you, I think every single one of the 4 horsewomen are better as heels than baby faces for the simple reason they are 4 of the most criticized women. And when you have done for women's wrestling what those 4 women have done, you're going to have women constantly. You're going to have fans constantly say, oh, they win too much. Oh, it's always about them. Yeah, because you've never changed anything in your life. You've never been this influential on anything in your life. You've never made a difference like this in anything in your life. People never looked at you as inspiration in your life. People never looked at you and say, you can change this whole thing if you do this, this, and this in your life. Your greatness never determined the trajectory of anything in your life, not even you. So of course you hate Sasha. Of course you hate Bayley. Of course Becky and Charlotte win too much. And of course Sasha is holding people back on the indie scene because she only went there because so she could win everything. Of course that's how you feel about those women. And of course you only love Bayley when you feel like, oh, the WWE has done Bayley so wrong. It makes sense. Because you loved Becky when you thought the WWE was doing her wrong. Charlotte and Sasha never gave you the opportunity to feel sorry for him. Becky will never give you the opportunity to feel sorry for her ever again. It's unbelievable. Now, a couple other things happened on Monday Night Raw. Now, we did get Sami Zayn, CM Punk taking on Braun Breaker and the Revolutionary, the Visionary, Seth freaking Rollins. My guy. Now listen, talking about Monday Night Raw, the second doesn't really matter, but I just wanted to say that this was the second best promo that I had heard this week. The back and forth between Seth Rollins and CM Punk in that ring. Boy. Braun, I hope you was taking notes, my boy. Learning from two unbelievable mic workers. Specifically when CM Punk is dedicated to following the story and not just talking out his ass about things that do not matter. Unbelievable what those meant, what he can do on the mic. And Seth Rollins also. Some of the lines that I really liked. I told you in my last show that CM Punk has basically become what Seth was to him. You will never win a fucking championship as long as I'm breathing, nigga. That was Seth to CM Punk. Now that's CM Punk to Seth. I like that because Seth basically has gone mad because he hated CM Punk so much and he hated that Roman Reigns would not fucking listen to him. Like, I can understand Seth's going mad. I will never understand the Paul Heyman thing, but Seth Rollins turning heel makes sense because, bro, it don't matter what I've done to you in the past, Roman. I get it. You have to fucking listen to me this one time. I completely understand that. Now, I understand this is boy who cried wolf. You done cried it so many times. Now, nobody's listening. But when you love somebody, when that is your brother, I'm always supposed to have one more chance. On something like this, we built this, and you are going to allow this outsider to come in and eat off of the plates that we prepared. I understand Seth Rollins is crash out. I still don't quite know why Braun Breaker has aligned himself with Seth Rollins. They haven't really said anything about that. That is very intriguing. But I do want to say, the only thing, and I know they're probably doing this on purpose, which is kind of confusing me on where this story will end up ultimately going, or this feud, or this stable, rather. Because I don't even know if they got a name. They kind of mimicking every single thing that Roman and the Bloodline did. And I don't know if that's intentional. Because it could be intentional. Where you remember Sammy said, you basically is just trying to be Roman Reigns. Like, you're a Roman Reigns knockoff, basically. Like, if they are trying to specifically point out, like, look at Seth, bro. He really do think he Roman. Like, Roman really influenced this. Like, Roman really is... What's up, big bro? Man, you so clean, big bro. Shout out RDC. Man, look at how great you are, big bro. That's what it feel like Seth Rollins is right now to Roman Reigns. Like, you so clean, big bro. Look how you carried the title in the WWE, big bro. I won't be just like you when I grow up, big bro. That's what it feels like Seth Rollins going through right now. I'm not gonna lie to you. So, either way, I still love what I'm seeing. But to get back to what we were talking about, I love it when CM Punk basically said that, like, as long as I'm breathing and these 2 feet is working and this heart is pumping, which all basically have to do with breathing, you ain't touching no title, my guy. Because obviously CM Punk cost Seth Rollins the WWE Championship against Jey Uso last week. And then another thing that I loved, when Seth Rollins talked about the gaslighting that CM Punk was doing to us, the cry me a river, the oh woe is me, I'm always the victim, I'm always being done dirty, it's everybody against me. If you know me and you listen to me talk about wrestling, you know I ate all that shit up because of how I feel about CM Punk in the past. Because Lord, everything CM Punk, everything Seth Rollins was saying, I was clinging onto it. Seth, and this was funny because Seth really probably feel it. Seth don't know that is a lot of people like me out there who feel this way about CM Punk at time. So I don't think he say that for pandering. He just really say that shit, and I agree with it. But maybe he is pandering to us heel fans. Either way, the cry me a river, cry me a river, oh, cry me a river, cry me. That was it. Cry me a river, cry me, Okay, anyways. Seth basically said, cry me a river, fuck, Nick. You're not the victim in this situation. I loved it. And now we enter a new segment that we will do from here on out throughout all of the Wrestling with Saints. A series of events, aka chain reaction. So, in this gaslighting and refusal to allow a man to win a title while you still got air in your motherfucking lungs, Braun and Seth, they jumped CM Punk, which led to Sami motherfucking Zayn coming out and trying to save CM Punk, which led to Braun and Seth then jumping. They then jumped Sami Zayn. You know, I will save this thought actually. Which led to Braun and Seth jumping Punk again. Which then led to Jey Uso, the WWE Heavyweight Champion. Yeet. He came out to save Punk and Sami, which then led to Braun and Seth jumping Jay, which then led to finally the numbers game catching up and Seth and Sami coming into the ring with chairs to save Jey Uso. A series of events. Chain reaction. Now my question in that, why did Sami and Jay not coordinate this attack? Sami, Jay, y'all clearly fuck with each other. Y'all clearly are boys in real life. Y'all clearly love each other. I just saw the tribal, the dinner and the food that you did on the yacht with Stephanie and Stephanie's places. Why did you two not talk about this in the back? You could have saved a lot of hits on both of you guys if you had came out there at the same time. You probably could have saved Punk from getting jumped basically twice if you had came out at the same fucking time. Now, if CM Punk had sold y'all, if y'all both came out at the same time, then in my opinion, that's when you got to turn to CM Punk and beat his ass. Nonetheless, though, can we coordinate a little bit better? Nonetheless, chain reaction. Raw was good, though. That was a great opening to Raw. I do want to say, I think it was like 4 matches on Raw. It was only like 4 matches tonight on Smackdown also. So I just want to point that out. It was a lot of like quick segments, promos, segments setting up matches. It was a lot of that. But mind you, that whole first segment was not a match. The first match came after that, and it was Penta taking on Chad Gable. Penta ended up winning this match. Obviously, Penta's on the road. They're not going to have Penta lose this match. But Pat McAfee did come out before this match started. I almost forgot about that. Yeah, Pat came out before this. And that was, I want to say probably like the first 10 minutes, probably shorter than this, probably like the first 2 minutes, 3 minutes. I'm probably tripping. They talked about Pat and Gunther and all of that, yada, yada, yada. But eventually we got into the match. And they started to focus in. And I just want to say, it is so fucking hilarious that the back and forth that Cole and Pat have about Cole always saying that Chad Gable is El Grande Americano, and Pat saying that is Chad Gable, or that is clearly Americano, El Grande Americano, and that is clearly Chad Gable. They are not the same. That back and forth is actually fucking hilarious to me. I just want to say that. Now, Penta had a beautiful spot later on in the night. I just want to point that out. But the code breaker that Chad Gable hit, basically for, wait a minute, did Penta hit that actually? No. It was Penta who hit it because Chad Gable was going for. That nigga Chad Gable did so many headbutt type dives. Like, he kept doing so many head dives, bro, like using his head as the weapon. He was intent on trying to develop CTE. It's absolutely insane. But Penta hit a moonsault into a super kick. No, Chad Gable tried to hit a moonsault that ended in a super kick. That ended in an ankle lock reversal, which ended in a backflip off the top rope from Chad Gable, which led to a Mexican destroyer from the top rope by Penta. Now, I know you might think to yourself, well, Saint, wasn't that chain reaction? No, it was not. If it was chain reaction, I would have fucking said it was chain reaction. Okay? Can I do my job? Can I do my job? Apologies, I don't know why I took it there with you guys. You're just trying to listen to the show and help me out. I apologize, I do. The next segment of the night, the second segment of the night, if you will, was Roxanne and Julia basically promoting their matches against EO, their match against EO and Rhea later on in the match. Later on in the night. And it would, because that was the main event. I just want to point out, main events, the women have main evented Monday and SmackDown, same week. Both of them had great matches. This match on Friday, unbelievable. Third segment, though, because it did not go segment match. It went segment, match, segment. Because then the Judgment Day, Dom and Finn had a hilarious segment. The Judgment Day had a hilarious segment anyways, because Finn didn't understand time zones. That was fucking hilarious. Where JD McCollum was like, buddy, you can't be serious. Like, Dom, you have to. Carlito, Raquel, and JD trying to help him out was hilarious. Raquel looked great. Raquel talked about how she don't wear makeup because it break out her skin or something like that. That look that she had Monday, unbelievable. Looked like an Amazonian type of badass. I love that look that Raquel had on Monday Night Raw. We finally got to the next fucking match, which was a number one contender. Well, it wasn't a number one contenders match, but I looked at it as a number one contender match. But they didn't officially say that it was a number one contenders match. They more so said, well, winning this match could get you a great opportunity to be in line for a championship shot. So, who knows what it'll lead to. But New Day was on commentary, and it was the War Raiders taking on American Made. This was a great fucking match. But commentary by New Day was fucking hilarious. Michael Cole started off by trying to tell New Day that they cheated or something like that. And Kofi went in. Him and they said, but you just tried to cheat to help your boy last night. Kofi and Xavier Woods are unbelievable. Unbelievable. They are exactly the people who should have those tag team championships. What they are about to do for this division, once again, is about to be remarkable because they elevate everything that they are in. They are unbelievable. As great as the War Raiders are in the ring, it's just something about them that don't translate like the New Day. People don't like or hate the War Raiders anywhere near as much as they hate the New Day right now. obviously the love that the New Day had was only rivaled by the Usos. So I'm not, talking about these teams and saying, oh, none of them could. You know who I would really like to see, even though they both heels right now, so you're not going to see it? DIY take on the New Day. Because I like DIY to me is one of those. Obviously, I don't put them on the same level as New Day or the Usos, but they that next level to me. Like, I love watching. Now, some people be like, well, you can't put them over 3D and all these other bro. It's not your fucking list. Okay. Anyways. American Made won this match. The New Day interfered in this match, and I'm actually glad they did, because I don't want to see the War Raiders continue to be... I don't have a problem with the War Raiders, but I know that the War Raiders have a ceiling as far as... I really think they need to just let them drop this whole gimmick. The Raiders gimmick completely. Don't turn them into something that's going to fuck them up, even though great wrestlers will find a way to work any gimmick. But I'm kind of tired of the Raiders. That you're not changing them. Like every time I know some people might say, well, dudes tatted up like this, what could they be? What else could they be? But all I'm saying is you got these two dudes who are unbelievable in the ring. But for some reason, it's not some reason, to make perfect sense, but their gimmick does not translate for longer than the fresh stage, the brand new stage, the new feel welcome back stage. After that, it stales down. It's not the same. So I really would like for the War Raiders, and I'm pretty sure they do. They probably students of the game. But I don't know if you could watch the New Day and the Usos and understand how to do what they have done. Because sometimes you got it, sometimes you don't. And so when you generational, you can't teach another person how to be generational. You know what I'm saying? But I like the future of American Made. Tag team division is also the best in wrestling. The men's division, tag team, all of it. Another quick cut happened after this. I call this a quick cut more than a segment because it really didn't take that long. It was Sami Zayn and CM Punk in the locker room talking about their Saturday Night Live main event. It really wasn't much more than that. But yes, Saturday night main event was talked about a lot because it's being promoted, because it's being set up. Another quick cut happened right after that quick cut, though. It was Seth Rollins and Braun Strowman being knockoff Bloodline members or lookalikes. After that, though, we finally got into a match. And there I go lying again. It was another segment. That's what I'm saying. They had a lot of, you know what I'm saying? Like, it felt like a lot of talking was done. I ain't mad at it. I'm just saying it felt like wasn't too much wrestling going on. You dig what I'm saying? Nonetheless, the WWE World Championship main event, Jey Uso came out and talked to the people. He did made a kid's dream when he picked him up and started eating with him. I know that kid gonna love Jey forever. That motherfucker gonna fight people at school if they talk crazy about Jey. Jey made his whole childhood. For all he concerned, Jey a second father to him. Say something crazy about Jey Uso. That's his favorite wrestler all time. Ain't no other wrestler pick me up and dance with me like this. That's all I'm saying. Also realized the crowd love this nigga. Bro, he do an encore every week because the crowd is still hype as shit after he done eating. The crowd legitimately is... You know what I love about Jey Uso, bro? And I'm probably going to end the show with this. I know it's a lot more shit to talk about on Raw. Matter of fact, let me do some quick cuts real quick, because Gunther came out and Gunther talked about how he was ready to face Jey Uso. Regardless of who won between Jey Uso and Logan Paul, he was facing the winner. So now on Jey Uso's plate, you have Seth Rollins, Logan Paul, and Gunther. Just keep that in mind. Later on in the show, real quick before I move on, when Jey Uso, bro, Gunther said in the segment, he told Jey Uso, he said, I'm going to remind you of your place. And Jey looked at this nigga and said, my place? He showed him the title and said, "This is my place." That shit was so hard. I ain't gonna lie. I think people forget that Jimmy and Jay both can cut great promos. Like I think some people forget, like they didn't forget how to cut promos just because they're not the Usos, like in the Uso penitentiary no more. These niggas are still very great on the mic. They remind me of that weekly. Next, Io Sky had cut a promo. After that, they did a tribute to Sabu, the ECW legend. Shout out, rest in paradise, Sabu. They then talked about Money in the Bank coming up. We did another quick cut after that with Kaiser, even though it was almost an interview because they asked him a question. He never got to respond because Jey Uso got attacked by Braun Breaker. So if you keep in track, that is now on Jey Uso's plate. Braun, Seth, Gunther, and Logan Paul. What a plate. Then the third match of the night came. Finn Balor, AJ Styles. Great match. I'm glad AJ won this fucking match. But this was a great match. The calf crusher going into the Styles Clash. Unbelievable. It was a segment later on that night where Karrion Kross and the New Day was talking about merch. That shit was hilarious. I think that was when AJ was walking past them, actually. No. I could be wrong. I could be tripping. Then next was the best segment of the night, and the best thing I had saw all week was when Becky Lynch cut her promo. Rusev did his quick cut, asking Tozawa for a match. No, Tozawa was asking for a match. Rusev had his promo going on. Sheamus and Adam Pearce was in the back talking. And then, oh, damn, I don't want to sell short the main event. Oh, I don't want to sell the main event short. I'm going to have to, though. I'll talk about it on on the next episode. I'll get back about the main event with Roxanne. I spent so much time talking. I ended up holding Raw still. But I want to talk about Jey Uso real quick because quick little break real quick, actually. Because I am probably going to talk. Yo, Jey Uso, I forgot during his promo, he called himself the Arena Shaker. That shit was hard, I ain't gonna lie. Because the arena do be shaking when that nigga in there. That's a lit. I ain't never heard nobody call themselves that. That is a. I hope that like he keep calling himself that, the Arena Shaker. I'm reading through notes. I'm basically on a little intermission. That's my fault. I should have played some music in the background, some Okay, real quick, I do actually want to talk about this. I would skip the Jey Uso shit, and I would just talk about because I did want to talk about Jey Uso real quick about something. But I would if I end up talking about Jey Uso, I'll end up using the rest of the talk about Jey Uso. So I'm not gonna do that. I would just talk about the main event: Roxanne Perez and Julia team up to take on Io and Rhea. Now I'm pretty sure we all knew who was gonna win this match because I just don't see Triple H giving a champion a loss like in an attack. I mean, this would be a perfect time to give her the loss because Rhea could have took the pin. But I'm glad that Rhea and Io won this. As great as I know Roxanne and Julia are, it looked like it was hard for them to kind of keep up with Rhea and them in the beginning. They was missing some moves were a little bit off. The match did get great once they got comfortable and set it at the end. But I do kind of feel like they had a better match in store. It just didn't all come together as great as it could have, like the Nia Tiffany match. Like, my goodness, what a fucking match. But anyways, we will be back next Friday. That's when the wrestling shows come out, on Fridays. Well, that's when I record them. They probably drop on Saturdays. With that being said, I appreciate you for joining me on another episode of Wrestling with Saint. It was a long episode. I appreciate you. I truly do. Tell somebody you fuck with them. Tell somebody you love them. You can be anything in this world, so choose to be kind to somebody today. Like, subscribe, share, tell a friend, and tell a friend. I fuck with you. I love you, and I appreciate you. Saint out.
I didn't have to spin my wheels trying to prove myself that I wasn't what you say I am, but that all changes. Because from now on, whatever you say I am, I am. So I'm selfish? Yes, I am. I'm greedy? Yes, I am. I'm cutthroat? Yes, I am. And all those girls in the back that were happy I was gone, that thought it was safe because the fire had gone out of Becky Lynch, well, they're finally gonna realize what it's like to be held down by the man.
I got the moves like hot sauce. Lil' mama taking the top off. I'm laying down getting topped off. After this, you know she getting knocked off. I know she loving the money, so I keep on thumbing and thumbing. She say she horny when she taking shots, so I keep them coming and coming. Now I'm putting dick in her tummy, scoop her up like I'm raking her something. You would think shawty red track, the way that she running and running. You getting dumber and dumber, you out here chasing the bone. After she finished from giving me dome, the Uber is taking her home. Tight.